like to call a meeting to order. The first item on the agenda is the review and approval of the minutes from the August 30th, 2019 Board of Health meeting. Does anyone have any comments, questions on the meeting minutes?
Motion to approve.
I second.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
So approved. The next item on the agenda is to review and sign the tobacco flavor restriction regulations with an enactment date of January 1st, 2020. So I guess at this time we will sign the regulation. Okay. This is the letter. So a letter to the state. Okay. Thank you. Okay, that is done. So the next item on the agenda is to review and act on the report from the Central Massachusetts Regional Public Health Alliance. Phil, do you have any comments?
So it's been an interesting month, to say the least, between E, which is not going to abate till we have a first hard frost. So personal protection is really the key at this point. It's unprecedented, the range of the virus and the mosquitoes in Massachusetts. Beyond that, there was aerial spraying to knock down the adult population. Again, that does not abate the threat. All it does is if they were flying at night, it knocks those down. So
Question around that. So how frequently are they testing mosquito samples?
the mosquito control district, they're doing that regularly.
Like weekly or?
I believe they set traps, pick them, and then test. So that's where we're still getting some positive mosquitoes, we're still getting positive human cases. I mean, we're up to 12, I believe,
Yeah.
and then we had 3 deaths, so 3 and 12, it's 25%. Fatality rates 30 to 50%, so unfortunately those numbers are bearing up. At this point, again, Shrewsbury is part of a mosquito control district, and what they do in the prevention piece up front, if you're out spraying, then that's serious, because you don't do that normally. And so all the upfront work, they do the larviciding, picking up of tires, and then the testing. I mean, the
Right.
testing lets you know what's going on. So
We haven't had a positive one since the 28th of August,
as
right?
far as we know, no.
Okay.
But they're pockets. And traditionally they were in the southeast cedar swamps, but red maple swamps are another habitat. So that's New England, as you know. It tends to be cycles. The last year we had West Nile virus. This year's E. So there's going to be a lot of talk and training in the off season, so to speak. Every year, so people now are familiar with the arbovirus website, The arborvirus response plan, which is updated every year, and that's what we follow. So actually, I mean, falls, I love fall. And it's like this, I was looking at the 10-day weather, and it's gonna be nice, so it's nothing, you know. You're probably not gonna get a hard
Yeah.
frost.
No frost in the foreseeable future.
Yeah, so probably like third week of October maybe, and again, it'll vary, you know, like valleys and might get a killing frost. But we'll be watching that. And then the next is the emergency order with vaping products. I mean, also unprecedented. I was out in Holden yesterday, and every place I went to, all the products been pulled. Any chain operation like a Honey Farms, Cumberland Farms, they've already, corporate told them pull everything. And there's some lawsuits in the making at the moment, but nothing's, until further notice, if there's a change in the order. It's a temporary ban. If you go through the paperwork, how it's all worded, very specific wording. Personally, I think it's doubtful a suit's gonna overturn it because of it, how it's worded, and it's a public health emergency. And our statute's very strong when it's public health emergency, and nobody knows. Unfortunately, the vape stores, they're the ones that are immediately impacted, because that's what they do.
That's all they do.
Whereas a Honey Farms, they pull some vape products, they're still in operation. And so it's operation in Danvers, it was gonna file suit. But again, the Attorney General's office will be defending this if it makes it to that. They're probably gonna try to get a preliminary injunction. I doubt they're gonna get it the way it's set up. And then CDC studying this, they don't know what's really the cause of it. And then there's a big shakeup at Juul, and again, Big Tobacco owned significant pieces of Juul. So these two events, you know, I've been doing this 30 years plus, is unprecedented, you know, to have two of these events back to back.
One thought I had with the ban, actually, that I was thinking about this morning, was how we have a lot of youth that have become addicted to these products, and suddenly they're not going to be out there. So I'm wondering what kind of supports might be available in the community for families who may have a youth who is going through like nicotine withdrawal or something like that.
So that's part of, in the information, they're putting links.
They are.
Have information for
It's included in what
quit
we sent
smoking, and that's all part of the
Right.
piece. So folks, because I had some adults, and it actually has also come out in the media, you know, some adults had quit regular cigarette smoking, and went to the e-cigarette and is concerned, doesn't want to go back smoking. So yes, there is that piece of it, and in the handouts, there's, in the declaration, actually, I think it's quit smoking, it's in the,
So, in the very bottom of your packet is everything that we emailed and mailed out to the retailers,
yeah.
and it has cessation links.
Massachusetts
As
smokers
well,
helpline.
and 1-800 numbers.
and Joshin's here, she's
Joshin's
our
here.
tobacco person, so can you speak to that? Come pull up to
Yeah,
the
so
table.
I just raised the issue of how we do have youth in the community, minors that have become unwittingly, you know, addicted to these vaping products and everything. And what kind of resources are available for youth and their families, because, you know, it might be that parents don't even know that their child is using this product, and now it's gonna go through nicotine withdrawal or,
Right. So there are two teen cessation
resources that are available. So one of them is called My Life, My Quit. But I wanna make sure that's what it is, so I can send that information out. And then, so these are like text-based, so one of them is motivational messaging, so it's text-based, teens can sign up for it, and then throughout the day, they're gonna get motivational messages to get through that day without using a tobacco product, right? So there's that, and then there's another one, I think that, which is called the Quit Line. So
Yeah, 1-800.
1-800-QUIT NOW, or visit makesmokinghistory.org.
yeah, so
Right
makesmokinghistory.org. Yep. So 1-800-QUIT NOW or visit makesmokinghistory.org. So that's another resource that's available. But in terms of, I mean, I think what we really need to do is education within the schools as well. And so I'm going to be working closely with Carrie to work with the retailers to make sure that they're they're complying with the emergency order. And then with schools as well, I think that's something that we need to do more outreach within the schools and educate the teachers as well. I'm pretty sure that the UMass's community partnership program, the tobacco-free community partnership program, Tina Grosowski, I don't know if you are familiar with her, but I'm pretty sure that she has presented to teachers in Shrewsbury, but I can also work with her to make sure that teachers are being provided the resources that they need to then impart it to the students. Yeah, I mean, this is a big beast
Right.
to
Well,
handle.
but it's also kind of an opportunity for
Right.
youth that have been using these products to actually stop now,
Yes,
but
definitely.
they need the proper support to be able to.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
can't just expect them to be okay on their own, especially if they've they have a nicotine addiction.
Right.
They need the necessary support. And I was at a Dr. Ruth Pody event in Grafton recently at the beginning of this week, and she said that they can actually prescribe like nicotine patches or cessation, like FDA approved cessation aids to kids as well. So your PCP would be another resource to provide support on that.
Okay. Great. Thanks.
And then in other news, our next quarterly alliance meeting is October 16th at 12:30 at the Asa Waters Mansions in Millbury. Nobody has been there. It's a historic mansion that's been rehabbed and kept as a public space. Parking is at the town hall, and then there is a parking lot there. Folks are going, just let us know so we can get a little head count. Also in the updates, there is what Jolson had mentioned, mylifemyquit.org, so she mentioned that. We've been busy in general with the fall festivals. Abby will touch on that when she gets to her piece. Attended a hearing Tuesday from DPH on the new housing code update. That's been 10 years in the making. This is the second round of hearings, so we're getting close to having that approved. I think by the beginning of the year, we'll have that online. Biggest, they've done some condensing of terminology. What took so long is they needed building code, plumbing code, electric code, all the other codes to be vetted in there. We don't supersede it. Can't say you need this and building code says this. That's not our function. A lot of discussion around mold and how that is to be regulated. Tenant advocacy groups are promoting, oh, I have a positive mold test, therefore that's actionable. testing without a control or a reason, you know, there's both spores right here, in case anybody doesn't realize it, naturally occurring. So that's very difficult. It's always been chronic dampness of what's causing is there a leak, a roof leak? Usually there's some moisture issue. And then we have a temperate climate, so we have and we have change in seasons, so you can get condensation on your windows in the winter. And if you don't wipe up that moisture and you have wooden windows, you can get some discoloration. But also with the internet, you know, anyone sees anything that's black substance, immediately, you know, they consider that mold. There's other factors in a home that can contribute to that by the occupant. So it's difficult. One of the things I did speak at the hearing is, again, all of this is unfunded mandate. The state supports technically, but the way the code is written, there's a lot of resources that go behind that. Again, minimum standards, etc. So we're encouraged that hopefully this final round, actually today is the last day to send in comments. We're expecting that at the beginning of the year. And then the swimming pool code, which was almost ready, but they pulled it. They have a float tank advisory group. They've been tweaking that regulation. They're also aware if they can't get it completed before pool season, they're not going to change it. Giving us a new pool code in May it's not very effective for us. We would basically just continue with the current code and catch the other ones on the next round. So they're going to attempt to get that out late winter, early spring at the latest. We'll hear more about that at our conference in November, where those folks, the community sanitation program folks, always have a session. So that the new food code will hopefully catch up. Innovation travels faster than regular code, so it really does come down to the director of the program says it's safety. You know, we have to deal with the safety of folks that are using public pools or semi-public pools. And where semi-public pools tend to be either condominiums or private clubs, where it's more, the sense of it is more of a home pool, but it really isn't. So it's still a public pool, and safety is number one. So when you have too many other activities that are adjacent to your pool, a child can, you know, you're there talking to your whoever, and that child could be floundering in the water, and you really don't have an idea because you're busy doing some other activity. So that's really been the instances in the semi-public pools. A lot of community health stuff that's in here that you can look at. And I'll turn it over to Abby. She can give you an update on locally what's happened in Shrewsbury since last meeting.
Yep, since last meeting, 48 total inspections, a lot of routine food inspections, some temporary events. We have Spirit of Shrewsbury this weekend. This weekend, and Post Parade and the Pioneer Fest. So if anyone's looking for some food truck food, come to your local events. And we did have one emergency, an establishment had a fire, and they're still closed currently. some nuisance complaints still, 7 and 5 re-inspections, but it does kind of seem like the grass is growing a little bit slower this time of year, so that's kind of coming to a rolling stop. So, yep.
And the farmers market had their last day this week,
Yeah.
so that's done. And medication take-back day, October 26th, so that's being held. Carrie, where's that being held?
Right over here at the Shrewsbury Senior Center from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m.
10 to,
2 p.m.
I just wanted, if I can, have a moment to circle back to vaping, whenever you're done. You're all set? Okay. All right, thank you. So just a few more things. The state has an informational campaign for both parents and the youth. The parent campaign is called The New Look of Addiction and How to Talk to Your Kids About Vaping. So these are handouts that the state came up with after working with parents on what messaging will actually resonate with them. And then the youth campaign is called Different Products, Same Dangers, which kind of compares the effects of smoking a cigarette and the effects of smoking vaping. And both of these campaigns are being relaunched by the Mass DPH October 11th, so they're going to be doing another wide push out of these campaigns. Again, both of these materials have been sent out to the schools as well, and I think the Board of Health has probably seen it. It's pretty widely circulated at this point. In Worcester, I have been tabling at the Worcester Public Schools, like Know Your School Night or open house, parents open house nights. I don't know if Shrewsbury Schools has already had theirs, but I could table there. I can find out more information, but just in terms of parent engagement and educating them on what they can provide in support of their children. So that's another community outreach event that I can go to. And then at the Spirit of Shrewsbury, we're going to be tabling. Me and my coworker and then 2 other interns are going to be there, and we'll make sure to have lots of the vaping handouts, so parents and youth both get a chance to engage with us, and if they have any questions, both of our interns are also very well versed on the information, so we'll do some community outreach there as well. And then the teen cessation resources that I had mentioned earlier, the My Life My Quit and MakeSmokingHistory.org, both of those have also been sent out to the school superintendent so that it can be circulated to teachers and school personnel. All of the retailers have been notified by Carrie, I'm assuming via email and mail, so
Correct.
yeah. I thought so. Yes.
I was writing up my envelopes as I received the info about the ban, so I would be all set.
Always a step ahead. So the retailers are definitely aware. And then lastly, we're waiting for more guidance from the state around the penalties for any non-compliant retailers. So we've been told to deliver a cease and desist letter once we find out that they haven't been compliant, and then a follow-up 24-hour, and then a 24-hour follow-up. So, but after that, if they're still not compliant at that point, we don't have the penalties guidelines yet, so we're still waiting for that. That should be sent out by the state, I think they said within next week. So,
we could bring them in for a hearing.
the state?
No, we,
Oh, the
the
retailers.
individual towns
Board of Health,
could bring them in for a hearing. Actually, they would be, their permit is at risk, if they're not,
Right.
they're not following an emergency order, so they're not being a compliant retailer. So usually bringing them in front of the board on TV with their business name and why they're not being compliant, usually you don't get to that.
Do you know if the Alliance is stepping up inspections because of this, in terms of tobacco retailers, vape products?
The alliance as in
Us.
That would be me.
Us, that would be you.
That would be me. And yes, so I am planning on visiting all of the retailers in the Alliance as soon as we have more information from the state around the penalties. But within the next week, I'll be visiting the retailers.
How's it being addressed with the online retailers? Because I know there's a ban for that too, like how,
Good question.
Yeah, that's a great question. We asked the state the same thing. I think that's something that they're going to be handling. We don't.
Right,
we
yeah.
don't, and we don't work with the distributors either, so the state will probably be working with the distributors who are supplying to the local retailers.
The biggest issue is the retailers, they have everything boxed up, they wanna know if they can get some money back. So,
Send it back.
the stores that I went in, it was all pulled. Example was Honey Farms. Manager actually was off duty and corporate called her to go back in the store and pull all the products off the shelf. So she actually had to go back. The publicity is so widespread, like if someone, they'll tell us. We'll hear it, plus when we're in a store doing an inspection ourselves, you know, if we see vape products, but so far we haven't seen any. I think Joe's gonna make sure, check all the vape stores, those are the ones,
Yeah.
Yeah.
because they,
that's their business.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
what, they sell, is there anything in there that's not vape? You know,
I mean, glassware, a lot of, well, vape shops, not so much, but smoke shops have like hookah products, and those are still, you know, they can still sell those. So, but a lot of vape stores, they're, you know, it's gonna be tough for them.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other comments, questions? Okay. So the next item is to review our meeting schedule for the next meeting.
You know, I'm wondering if for the next meeting that we could circle back on the EMF presentation, and I know that they presented to Selco this past week, and I think it's worth us having a conversation, sort of, you know, what our feelings are around that.
Sure.
I'm in training on Friday, October
October.
18th and October 25th.
What?
Oh, okay.
When's the special meeting?
October 21st. You mean a town meeting?
Yeah.
October 21st.
Do you want to meet on the 18th?
Unless it's later in the day, I'm in training for
Oh, okay.
half the day.
Oh, were you saying that
two
on the
Fridays
18th and
in
the
a row.
25th you're training?
The 18th and the 25th.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
but you don't have to have a Friday, you can pick whatever.
Works for folks.
Well, either another day or we into November 1st. Friday's best for
Yeah, I can
the
do
rest
that.
of the board.
Yeah, I can do November 1st, 18th I'm traveling, so,
Okay,
so 25th I've blocked up, but
okay.
All right, so let's do November 1st.
November
I'll take
1st.
that back actually, even November 1st I'll be traveling. Is there another day in the week of the 25th that might work for either of you?
I think Wednesdays are usually good for me.
Wednesday I can do as well,
October 23rd.
23rd.
Yep.
If we could wrap
Is that
up
okay?
before 9, so I just have a meeting at 9, which I cannot miss, so.
Okay. Okay, I think we can do that.
Yeah. I mean, I also have Thursdays work too.
That's my state day meeting, so 23rd will work great.
Okay.
23rd, okay.
I'm not able to do the 23rd.
At 8:15 or?
We can do 8.
Can we do 8?
He's going to be
Okay.
out by 9.
Perfect.
Yeah, that would be
Okay.
good if we can make
That'd be
sure we
awesome.
have enough time, yep.
Okay, I'll send out a meeting invite.
That'd be
Okay.
wonderful, and I'm changing it as we speak. Thank you.
Okay. So with that, do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you.
Thank you.